welcome to Blossoms for a Lifetime. I am a collector of plants, an explorer with plants, a lover of plants, and a learner. I am not a professional. I just do my best to learn from my mistakes, trial and error, and through research that I do to learn more about the plants that I have and how to care for them and how to propagate them. My goal here is to share my passion for plants. I hope that I will be able to offer helpful tips and tricks with some plants that are easier and some plants that are more challenging. I've definitely had failures with plants. I guess I wouldn't necessarily call them failures. They're more mistakes that you learn from, and then maybe you buy that plant again and you try again doing something different that you've learned. Or maybe you abandon a plant because you think this plant is just not for me. I definitely find, for me personally, I tend to have a more difficult time with easier plants, and I tend to be more successful with more challenging plants. So that is just my experience. And so I'm not always afraid to buy those harder plants. I get excited about them, and I don't know what it is about this house maybe, or the climate that we live in, but some of those plants I just have great success with. And I just want to have the opportunity to share that with other plant lovers out there in the world. On my channel, I plan to feature propagations. I am actively propagating currently. It is summertime, but I am not afraid to propagate at all seasons. So I usually have a propagation, at least one going, often multiple ones. I want to share repotting tips, caring tips, and I also look forward to learning from you all, my followers, and your helpful tips and advice, because I get a lot of great information from other YouTube channels, and I hope that I can be that for someone, but I also look forward to learning from others. So let me take you on a little journey to show you how I got here. How did I even become the plant lover that I am? So not long after we moved into our house in North Carolina, which was in 2019, I believe, I purchased one of those little cacti that you can buy at Lowe's. I'll insert a picture of it. I can't think of the name of it right now. And I just wanted to have this little cactus just kind of celebrate our new house that we had just purchased. And it bloomed for me in March of 2020. And I was ecstatic. I could not believe that it bloomed. So I kind of became interested in plants with that cacti. Well, actually succulents, to be more specific. In the fall of 2020, I am one of those people that ordered a box of succulents from Amazon. I think it came with like 24 succulents or something. I'll insert a picture here. And I was so excited to get that box of succulents. Some of them were kind of beat up in shipping, but most of them arrived intact and looking beautiful. I potted them all up and fell in love with them. Succulents are rather easy to care for, so I was quite successful with them. I learned a lot from those little succulents. I still have all of those little succulents, or at least most of them. I continually every year cut them back, and because they get tall, and then I just cut them back, which is something I look forward to sharing with you all. But I learned a lot from those succulents. I learned a lot about lighting and watering, and it's just something I didn't have a lot of experience with. And so that is kind of where my love for plants began to blossom from. I had a tough time. We lived in Western North Carolina, so up in the mountains, And I had a tough time with the climate there and some of my plants. I bought a humidifier to help care for my plants, but I just wasn't super successful. I did grow my collection. I believe I got an anthurium. I got some more cacti. I can't remember what else I bought. None of this stuff. But I didn't have great windows in that house, and the climate was rough because it was very dry and cold. So not long after that, well, in 2022, we moved to Tennessee, which is where we are now. And the climate here is way better. So, well, way better for plants. It's quite hot right now in the summertime, but the climate here is great for plants. So, and the house that we're currently in, which we're renting, so we don't own this house, but it has amazing windows, and I have filled up all of those windows with plants. I do not know how many plants I have, probably close to 100, but I have not done a count since it's been almost a year, and I've definitely had some plants die, and I've bought some new plants, so I'm not quite sure what number I set up. But when we first moved to Tennessee, the first thing that I bought was this Monstera, and it was just a cute little small plant, and it grew huge and took up this entire corner of the living room. And eventually I reached a place to where I couldn't keep it. It was out of control, and I don't have the space for that. So I drug the plant out onto the deck, and this is gonna sound terrible, I kind of just chopped it up into smaller plants to try to propagate. I just wanted to start with something smaller. Like with this space that I have, I could choose to have fewer plants and make them grow bigger, or I could choose to keep them smaller and have more plants. And so I guess what I choose is to keep them smaller and have more plants. So that Monstera became 5 Monsteras, and I'm having a hard time with the thought of parting with them, but I'm probably going to give away some of them, maybe to my mother-in-law or a couple of friends. I don't know yet, because not very many of them have fenestrated. I have 2, you can't see that one, and then one behind me that have not yet fenestrated. And then I have 3 that are, and they're putting out. I think this is the newest leaf. No, I think the newest leaf's back here. But regardless, it's gorgeous and I love it, and it's so easy to care for. So anyways, I've rambled way much more than I planned to at this introduction video, but my point is that I am a lover and collector of plants, and I am super excited to share my plants with you all, to share what I've learned and to learn from all of you. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.